Hello everyone, welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, before I say anything about today's episode, it's the first episode I'm wearing a hat. Uh, so that's pretty funny because the story about that is that I've been out most of the day and yeah, I just wore a hat, so I thought I'd just wear it on the podcast. So that's a funny story. But today's episode, I'm joined with Laura. And today Laura's going to be sharing her journey with ulcerative colitis. And yeah, I'm gonna let Laura you introduce yourself before I introduce yourself for you. So, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, I'm Laura. I'm 38. I'm from Ireland. And I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2020.
Yeah,
And that's where the fun started.
yeah, yeah. The long road of fun.
The never ending journey of UC for
Yeah,
me. Crohn's
yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah. All in the same boat. Um,
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah. So in the summer of 2020, it must not have been the best of times because like you said before, it was like with all the lockdowns were going on.
Mm.
And
Do you know what though? I found coming out of the lockdown actually more difficult because
yeah,
I was obviously flaring really bad. So while I was in lockdown, I was at home. So I had nowhere, like I wasn't working. I didn't have anywhere to go or anything much to do or a reason to leave the house. So when lockdown ended and I was still obviously in a massive flare, I was like, oh, crikey, here we go now. I'm going to have to start planning my days that bit more, you know.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was just like being thrown into the deep end mid flare and like, oh, okay, I need to figure out now anywhere I go, there's going to be a toilet. That people understand what like sometimes I have to cancel or, you know, life gets back to normal. Like I'm a self-employed hairdresser, so trying to my obviously there was no hair coloring and cuts during lockdown, so everyone was like desperate for that, and I'm trying to explain then that I'm kind of sick as well, and
yeah,
the messages were just like I couldn't even control the amount of messages coming for bookings, and I'm trying to juggle everything. So it was coming out of lockdown was actually I found much more difficult. But like everything else, you just get used to it again.
yeah. Uh,
Um,
yeah. I
yeah,
I
crazy.
think that too. You know, like I think lockdown coming out of it was more difficult purely because um they just pass it so like forget about everything that's
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
That's what it's been like for people who are not maybe got conditions that suppress their
yeah,
immune system. Um,
yeah.
it's like yeah, that's been kind of a blur for people now. Like, I want to forget about that time.
Oh, it's just like a distant memory now, isn't it?
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
always complain because, like, obviously we continue to get older, and I'm like, that's just so not fair because we've lost so much time and doing so many things. But anyway, that's just me complaining about getting older, nothing to do with anything else.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I was diagnosed in the summer of 2020. Things just went from being extremely normal, um, to going complete opposite. Like I never had any bowel issues. I was quite healthy. Um, Worked a lot, like just lived my life, traveled an awful lot, and spent so much time socializing. Like I'd be a very outgoing person anyway. Um, so I was out one day with my friends and I was like, you know, these like I've been getting a lot of blood, a lot of urgency. I didn't know, and they were like, oh, maybe it's, you know, hemorrhoids or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, probably is, you know, and just continued. But the weeks passed and I'm like, okay, this isn't going away now. I need to go to the doctor. So went to the GP. She did her usual little kind of general checks that they do and was like, no, okay, it's not hemorrhoids. You need to go to a specialist. So I actually got seen. I was quite upset actually because I was thinking the absolute worst. You know, when you look things up on Mr. Google and
mm,
all these symptoms, I was like in a state in the doctors. So she referred me as urgent. So I got seen, had the colonoscopy, very blatantly obvious that I had ulcerative colitis. The last 14 centimeters of my bowel was completely inflamed, with ulcers and all the rest of it. So it explained everything. So I guess I was kind of happy in one way that I knew what it was, you know. So I was diagnosed quite quickly. I know a lot of people, especially like even people like you with Crohn's, maybe it takes a whole lot longer and maybe it's more trickier. I'm not sure, but I think I was quite lucky getting diagnosed. And then like the normal MRI scans and all of that. So I started steroids straight away. Like I genuinely didn't know or what ulcerative colitis was. I would have briefly heard of Crohn's disease, but I never knew in depth what it was either.
Yeah.
So that was a huge thing for me to understand that this is here, it's not going away, but we're just going to try and control it. So you're probably going to be like bored of my entire story because there's just so much happened in such a short space of time. But so I went on steroids, nothing happened. Maybe things improved a little bit, like I lost a good bit of weight. Then Christmas came and, you know, you're trying to go on and continue to like socialize and all the rest of it. People never heard of it either. Like they didn't understand. They thought it was just usual like IBS or like stomach problems or, you know, but you look fine and it's amazing what a bit of makeup or your hair can do, you know, that kind of way. So but I knew deep down I wasn't okay. So obviously that failed. And then I was back and forth to the hospital the whole time. Like it was literally going from bed to the hospital to the chemist to home, and that was it. Like so then they decided to put me on biologic. So I started on Amgevita. That's what you're on, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. Yeah.
I started on that and I stayed on that for, I think it was 16 weeks, but nothing improved at all. So unfortunately, so they said they'll move me to infliximab. So I was on infliximab for another period of time. Things improved a little bit with the loading doses, but I found as things kind of mellowed out then, things were just returning. More steroids again, like at this stage, I think we could all be like IBG nurses and doctors, you know, like it's just become so normal. And then unfortunately, infliximab failed and I ended up in hospital. My calprotectin was like over 2,000, I think, at the time. And I can remember the doctor coming into me and he's like, you know, talking as if like, it's fine, you know, we'll just remove that part of the disease bowel and you'll be fine. And I'm like, this is actually quite a big deal for me, you know, I've bloody been suffering so long. And it's just like he comes in, it's just like 5-minute conversation. So it was just a whole other, just thrown up in the air again. So I was on steroids in hospital. I was kept in for, I think it was a week. And then I started another biologic, Stelara, which was my like saving grace. Have you only been on one biologic actually? Did I ask you that?
No. It's funny you say this because I was on infliximab first.
Okay.
But my consultant, well, they wanted me to be on Humira and Amgevita first, and I said I don't want to be on that. Because I'd only been diagnosed not long, and I wanted to be in hospital while I was getting treated first because Humira, like I still don't inject myself. Like
You know, some
no,
people can't do it,
no,
yeah.
no. But yeah, I had my injection today, but with the infliximab, I was on that a year, and
Oh.
I had a reaction on the 9th infusion. It might have been the 10th, 9th or 10th. But it was the loading doses, like first 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
It weren't friendly. And then yeah, literally, I just didn't take that again. And then
Okay.
been on Humira ever
Yeah,
since.
those 15 minutes, like they almost freak you out, don't they? Because they're like watching you and you're almost like watching your body or waiting for something to happen. Yeah, when they mention that, it's a bit like, but so yeah, I was put on Stelara in hospital and that was amazing. I literally, that was August last year. And I just got back to normal so quickly. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I was almost afraid to say I was feeling okay because in case things just came crashing back down again. Um, and then in January this year, I just started noticing symptoms again. Like blood was returning. I was very fatigued. Like I'm anemic anyway, so I get iron infusions every couple of months anyway. But do you know the way you just know yourself when things just aren't right? So I went in for another sigmoidoscopy and everything, the inflammation was really active. Um the inflammation had spread from say the 14 centimeters, last 14 centimeters of my bowel to now 20 centimeters. So they just whipped me off Stellaris straight away. They're saying as much as it was amazing, obviously it's starting to fail now, and because I had been so sick, they didn't want me to go back to that. So they did act fairly quickly. And I was put on Rinvoq then, which is a tablet a day. And I've been on that now 12 weeks so far, and I am touching wood now again, but it's been amazing. Like I've just felt completely back to myself again. So if I can get, like I was 6 months on Stelara, if I can beat the 6 months on this, it's going in the right direction. But I do get nervous because obviously biologics run out, don't they? So like you only have so many options, and I'm on number 4. So, but I'm always a glass half full type of person, I'd rather just think of the positives and we
Yeah,
have to, like, it's
yeah,
either that or you sink. And I know we can all sink, but you just have to think of the positives and kind of drive on and deal with what you can.
mm,
So that's where I'm at with my medication at the moment, and I feel pretty good. I feel like my calprotectin was over 2,000. It's now at like 110 as of this morning, actually. So I really couldn't ask for it to be any better at the moment.
yeah. It is good when we find something that's working for even a little bit.
Mm.
Um, that it can be very nice. Feel that way. When you're not used to it sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%. Like, and like Rinvoq is only quite new on the market actually. And I was surprised us in like the small country of Ireland managed to have it. I was
Hmm?
quite shocked because I think it's only coming out in the UK now. Soon. I don't even know if it's out yet. And the
Yeah.
States as well. So I'm just thanking my lucky stars that we do have it in this country.
Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't take away from the fact that I do hope that it comes out in other places, because I do feel that it works so quickly compared to other biologics where you have to wait like the 12 weeks or whatever. So yeah, big up to Rinvoq, keeping me
Yeah.
stable at the moment.
So is that a tablet you have to take then?
Yeah,
So it is.
so like for the first 8 weeks, it was like a loading dose tablet, so just a stronger version, like 45 mgs or something. So just one tablet a day. I'm down to 35 now. After 8 weeks, you kind of go on to a maintenance um dose. So yeah, so far so good. I just don't want to jinx myself, but yeah, I'm happy and I'm feeling good at the moment.
Yeah. Do you,
I'm
do you,
monitored every 2 weeks.
yeah. So you take that every 2 weeks or is it every day?
No, so the tablets every day, and then it's gone to every 4 weeks now because I've kind of improved so much. I just need to go get the bloods, to check the liver function and
Hmm.
the CRP levels and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes can be a pain going for blood tests.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
just don't like the injection or the
No.
needles, do you?
I don't mind them. It's just like going to hospital. Like it's not the most like best place you want to be all the time.
No, it's actually the worst, isn't it? Yeah, that sick feeling in your stomach, like as if we don't suffer enough with our stomachs anyway, and then going in there, it's like, oh, it'd give you the shivers, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah, and then you have
it?
a conversation with the nurse who's doing it. It's like I remember the last conversation, it was actually pretty funny. I when I last went for my blood test, there was a new nurse that I haven't seen before because I know most all of them. And
Yeah,
then this nurse saying, "Have you had a good day?" And I said, "Yeah, I've had a good day. Have you?" And then the nurse says, um, "Yeah, like because it was half term at the time." And I said, are you enjoying the week? Are you going to have a good weekend off?" I said, no, I'm still working all week. And then she mentioned, I finish in a minute after I've done you. Oh, well, that's good then. You're going to finish. But then, long story short, my arm gets bruised, like, later on, you know, when you notice it, like,
yeah,
sometimes when your arm's bruised from a blood test, and I was like, "It's bruised," and then it was a bit sore, but yeah, I do, and so I do, if they talk, I will talk back,
yeah.
but I'm one that I just want it to be over and done with.
In and out, yeah, in and
Yeah,
out
yeah,
as fast as possible. I've managed to find one nurse, all right. I even know her first name is Katie, and she gets it in my arm first go every time because I've like zero veins. They'd be down on my hand. It's terrible, but she just is amazing. So I'm like, is Katie around? Please, in and out, no bruises, perfect.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so
that's it,
bloods again in 2 weeks.
yeah. Like, when I was near enough starting those, I was up there nearly literally every 2 weeks. I was up there
Yeah,
having blood tests. I don't go as much now,
yeah,
but when I do go, like, I'll always wear my mask. Anyway now,
yeah,
um, um, just especially in hospital. Um,
yeah.
everyone goes there.
Anyway, like exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If I go
You have
to
to
a
still
packed
wear
space,
masks now in the UK in hospitals.
um, you don't really like. If I remember, no, not as much now. Then not like you'll see maybe the odd few wearing them,
Yeah.
um, like wearing the mask, but no, like I not. It's not as good as it was. Like
The same here now, like I think from like the end of April, it was like, yeah, masks aren't mandatory anymore. But I just think in our positions where your immune system is already so low, it's best to wear one. You're in a hospital where there's so much going on.
hmm,
Um, yeah, I'd still wear mine as well, just to
yeah,
be safe, to be safe.
but I sometimes do take like risks with if I want to do stuff. So if I want to do something I like to do and it is a bit risky for maybe a lot of people, I'll still do it if I'm doing okay with my Crohn's.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do too. Like we're still trying to you're trying to navigate everything and do the best you can, but like we have to live as well. And before the pandemic, nobody in our situations wore masks anyway. You just have to protect yourself as best you can. Um, but yeah, and life does have to get back to some normality. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to be going in crowded places. It's hard to avoid that forever, you
right.
know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like I've been quite lucky. Like I've never had COVID.
Me
Um,
too.
oh yeah, I haven't. So yeah, I'm avoiding everything all these years, and then
Yeah.
like like yeah, like I even know people have it 7 or 8 times. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I know,
crazy.
like maybe I was always wondering because since obviously getting ulcerative colitis in the middle of the pandemic, I was like, oh sure, look, I'm definitely going to get it now. I'll have no immune system. and it's 2023 and I still haven't had it. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, but yeah, I guess we're just lucky.
Yeah, I guess we
Yeah,
are, because
yeah,
it's like there'll be situations where, like, let's say if someone sneezes and I'll be running.
yeah,
It's just those things like that, and then
yeah,
people be like, It's in the air," and then that's the whole point. It's in the air
yeah,
to come to us.
exactly. Yeah, you're just spraying everywhere. But like things like even going up escalators, I never did it anyway, but I just wouldn't hold on. It's just, I don't know, I just wouldn't. It's just drilled into me because there was always so many germs on them anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah. When I was a long time ago before I had Crohn's, I fell down the escalators once.
oh jeez.
And that even before, when I was younger, the whole of my life I've always been like, I'm hygienic, so I wouldn't touch that anyway, because you just know how many people are touching it. Um,
Yeah.
so I had really long trousers on. It was my own fault, really. So I tripped down the escalators. Everyone's moving out of the way. Like everyone on the escalators are moving this way, so like I'm going this side, falling down, and they're doing this. I'm like,
Please don't move.
yeah. I'm thinking, like, please, can someone stay there so I don't fall down anymore?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, and yeah, I'm treated. I had cuts everywhere. Um, and
You're lucky. That
yeah,
could have been really, really
yeah,
nasty, like.
yeah. It wasn't nice, but when I was down and I was seeing people, you kind of feel like, sometimes when you're crossing the road and
Yeah,
like where cars don't stop for you,
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
and then you're like, thanks.
yeah.
That's how I
Exactly.
felt. That's how
Yeah.
I felt there.
So Mason, do you hold on to the escalator now though?
On a rare occasion, like, like, if there's a situation where I am gonna probably fall, or if I fear about falling, I
You have,
won't.
yeah. Or
Um,
just like, I just pull up my sleeve and just hold on then. But
yeah,
okay.
I'll put a wipe on it maybe. But another thing, I don't know if you noticed, like, but like when when people were eating, like maybe at a burger van or a hot dog van, um, you'll see like the ketchup on the side, and then you'll see the
Yeah.
mustard. Well, and then you'll see them. I advise this. I'm quite interested in it, because just see how it's like a game. Like, how many people are going to wash their hands before they've eaten it? So you'll see a person touch the ketchup,
Yeah.
put it on the bun or burger or
Mhm.
hot dog,
Mhm.
what they're eating, and then they'll eat it. They'll lick their fingers and everything, and then
Straight up.
yeah,
Oh,
they won't wash
no.
their hands. They won't wash their hands, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't do that. Like, that's why we're in
Yeah.
a pandemic. That's how we got here. Like, all these people not washing their hands.
And that's such a simple thing that you just wouldn't be thinking of like willy-nilly, like, but you're right, like you're so many people touching it and then that's literally going into your mouth like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm never going to do that again.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Like, I I was at so I have a season ticket for at the football, and it's the first time I've been in ages, because I haven't gone, because literally people, and like I went when they was wearing masks, but no mask anymore, so it's harder. So before the game start, I was thinking I want to get a pie, like I want to get it,
Yeah,
and then I didn't, purely because I go there, and then the lady who's serving has touching money, and she goes on the burger, no, not the pie, sorry, feels it if it's hot or not.
oh
And then, I'm not having it anymore. I
yeah,
do.
see, yeah, things like that now as well would get to me, like it would kind of almost turn your stomach in a way, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I always spot these situations. Like, there was a situation where I went on a restaurant called the George, and then wh- on this special occasion, I had a gin, um, and I I I ordered it, and then at the bar, I watch what they do, because you got to be like. you gotta be, if you get a drink out and you have ice in it, or they put
Mm,
salad in your drink, maybe like a lemon or something
mm,
like that, you gotta be.
yeah.
I would advise anyone, especially if you're immunocompromised or you've got Crohn's or colitis,
Mm, mm.
I would advise you to actually watch them do it, because if I didn't watch them do it, like what happened was he's touching money, and you have tongs to put the
Yeah,
food
that's
in.
what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
picture. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But he didn't do that. He used his hands
Oh,
and
jeez.
he put it in the drink. And then I actually waited till he actually done it, because he was a manager as well. He was training someone next to him. Um,
Jeez. Yeah.
and I said, "Why did you not use the tongs?
Mm,
Why are they there?" And I said,
mm.
well, I had too much in my hands." He didn't. He had nothing in his hands. So he had to do it again, and and watched
You
him.
could probably almost see it happening,
Yeah,
like, or
yeah.
you,
But
yeah.
but
God, yeah.
but yeah, he should have got in trouble really for that, because that's about hygiene. Like when you do this
Of
catering,
course it is. That, yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Genie.
yeah, like people eating it. But if you think about it, and all these meals, you don't know what they're touching, do you?
Mm,
If you're ordering something in a restaurant, you don't know what they're doing with the
I
hands or
know.
not.
I know.
Probably most of them aren't. But thing is, if they're doing it maybe with food, it's a bit better, because maybe all the germs are burning when they're on the plate on their cooking.
Because it's hot. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but it's a bit. I always like to eat ice. I don't know. Whenever I get a cold drink, I always like to eat it. But when I see people do that, it just puts you off.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, big no-no.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I I just thought people automatically do that, and you didn't have to tell them when you're not
Yeah,
working there.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
and the likes of that manager that like picked the lemon up with a hand, like if he's doing that in front of a customer, you'd be saying, what in the name of hell is he going to be doing? If someone's not watching. Oh, yeah, sorry. No.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's crazy. But yeah, like there are people out there will do that, and they probably won't care. They're just there.
They don't care.
That,
Exactly. That's
yeah,
exactly it. They just don't care. You know,
yeah,
the way
yeah,
they look at it is like, yeah, you want a drink? I'll get you your
yeah,
drink. This is just how it is.
yeah. And then what they're thinking in their mind, you're just moaning at me. That's what they're
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're drinking it, not me.
Yeah. When I say yeah, so it is crazy when that stuff happens. Um, but yeah, it's always good to look at them when they're doing that kind of stuff, because you get them in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Or you might even get a free drink.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, they say you take the money off, and then you can have a free one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
win-win. It's a win-win.
it is.
Everybody watch the barmaids and the bartenders in future. I will be.
Yeah, yeah. Like they, like I was only at the bar because I was helping. I wouldn't actually gone to the bar myself because I was with family, but I
Mm,
chose to. I said, "Oh, I'll get a drink," and then I see that, and I was like, "What's the tongues?" I can't. But
yeah,
yeah,
just as well you went because somebody else mightn't pay attention, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. So with your diagnosis of ulcerative colitis, so like, do you remember what your kind of first reaction was when like you was diagnosed? Because you wouldn't have known about it a lot. So like, was you kind of sad? Like, what was you really sad about getting
Do you
diagnosed
know
with?
what, right? In all honesty, I was a little bit relieved because I thought the way that, like, I thought because I had every symptom for bowel cancer
Mm,
that that could have been a thing. And when I was in the doctor's office that day, she examined me. She obviously couldn't tell me yes or no either, but understood that everything, all the symptoms were the same. So I was absolutely petrified. So when they said ulcerative colitis, I was like, okay, no idea what it is, but if it's treatable and I can kind of work with it or whatever, then I genuinely was just relieved. Now, in saying that, I didn't realize how severe it can become and what it would entail had, things just get progressively worse if it's not treated and not under control. So, but when I was first diagnosed, I was relieved, really. Yeah, I was relieved. And right now, obviously, I know how severe it can become and how ill somebody can become. That maybe had I known about ulcerative colitis as much as I know about it now, I would have been devastated, because it's still not a nice thing to get, is it? So, but yeah, the way it's worked out has just been like stepping stones, like just constantly learning. Like I would be the type of person that would, like, I need to know everything. Yeah. So when I was diagnosed with it, and I still do it. Like my IBG team just know me by first name. Like I know them by first name. Some of them we email and it's almost like we're friends. They understand that like I'd become anxious if, things, and they're straight on the phone, and for me, it's just all about not being afraid to speak up, and not to be afraid to ask a million questions. I've said this before, like, it's your body, you only get one. So if asking a few awkward questions and you feel uncomfortable asking them, but you want to know the answer, then do it. And that's exactly what I always did, and I still do. And I can probably be annoying for them. I don't think so, but like I ask legitimate questions, but maybe that's how it feels to some people, and then they shy away and they won't ask, So I'm always like, please just like vouch for yourself, advocate for yourself, ask all the questions. And that's why I always say, like, my DMs are always open. I chat to so many people suffering or, doing well and whatever, but I just love communicating about it. So, and just getting it out there. And like, I know people don't like speaking about the bowel or poo or whatever, but like, it's life, we all do it. We all have to deal with it. So, just to normalize it a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like, and not to be a big stigma around it. That's kind of what I'm about, is just normalizing it and not being afraid to speak up.
That's it. Yeah,
Mm.
because like I'm always curious. It's weird because I've asked like people that have Crohn's, like, what's average your time, or how many that like how many times you go to the toilet a day, and like a week even,
Yeah,
and I've had like a friend said to me, I only go maybe once or twice a week. And I said, wait, what? Like I go like maybe not as bad as maybe some with IBD, but
yeah.
I'll have like a set time I plan on going, and I would want to go at that time. And if I've gone on any more, there might be something wrong.
Mm.
But it is one of those things where it's important to talk about because
Yeah.
people may not like it.
Mm.
It's something we all do.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah,
Like you're doing it
yeah,
since the day you were born.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, don't get me wrong, I was obviously uncomfortable as well at the beginning, because a person without this disease will probably feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I just find when you have it, it's the people that don't have it as well needs a lot of education,
yeah.
Um, so yeah, as of now, I would have no problem speaking openly to anybody about it,
Yeah.
Um, never thought I'd probably sit in a podcast and speak about it if I go back 5 years ago. But like, that's what happens when you're diagnosed with like this disease. So it is what it is. We gotta play the cards we were dealt, you
We
know?
do, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do something about it. Like I didn't think that either. I never thought I'd even have a podcast. So, um, since 2020 actually is when I started
Mhm.
doing it, and I never really heard of it myself.
Are you
Um,
3 years. Are you doing the podcast 3 years?
Yeah, the
Wow.
2020. I think close. I think it was March or April time. It might have even been June. I think it was June. Um, but yeah, I started it and I decided to. I speak to myself at the start because I had not a clue what I was doing. And then I have a logo made, changed half a dozen times, but and a name. Doing different series about different things. And yeah, it is great.
Amazing.
It,
Yeah.
it is
And
great.
it is how the world is going. Like, as I was saying to you earlier, like, people are out for a walk now and it's a podcast. It's brilliant. What you're doing is amazing, especially in communities like this for like invisible diseases, because it's just normal, like chat. And I think it's very relatable to some people. So
Hmm.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah, because it is good when people want to do it because like they're not gonna know you. Like I think it's good though because I said it to someone the other day, like who has their own podcast and as well, and we were saying that it's good that when you speak to a stranger because they don't know anything about you, you don't know anything about them, and that you can
Yeah.
literally talk about anything and not feel
Anything. And
bad
we
for
just
it.
sit here and speak about like poo and stuff, and that's totally normal to us.
Yeah, yeah. Like to us, it's fine, and maybe a friend of yours or friend of mine, you talk about poo, they might not like it, or they think, "Why are you talking about that for?"
Oh
Uh,
yeah, you're always going to get those people, aren't you? And then some days it's like, if only you knew half of what we go through,
yeah,
like if only you knew.
yeah,
It
yeah. It's not
can
nice.
get frustrating as well, like with people just thinking it's like an IBS or that kind of thing. And it's not until, like, even some of my own family members, I get in trouble for saying this, but like some of them even now still wouldn't understand the depths that IBD can get to. And it's very frustrating. And I've retracted an awful lot because I just gave up. I'm like, right, if there was something up with somebody really close to me, I would personally take the time and research it and ask them about it. And I'd want to know, because if I can help, those little things. So there'll always be people that just are ignorant to it, unfortunately.
Mm,
Um, and that's quite sad and annoying, but
yeah,
you
it's
can't make somebody.
no, no. Like, we don't. Yeah, you can't make someone if they don't want to have anything to do with it, and you just know.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
have the people around you who want to know about it, or
exactly.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, because yeah, it's not the best thing maybe to talk
No,
about. Like,
it's not.
it can be really hard.
Mm,
Um, like I remember like all these different questions like you get asked aren't easy like sometimes, but um like with the one thing I don't like now, like we talked about germs earlier, is handshakes.
oh yeah,
Like I whenever someone gives me a handshake, I'll do something else. So I might do like an elbow.
an elbow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true, actually.
yeah, because like we
I don't
like
think I've done a handshake actually in so long.
yeah, like I won't do a handshake with like I don't. I don't know. When it's hard sometimes if you think about like with handshakes because you go to a person that doesn't know you. Maybe you're meeting someone new. Maybe you're going to
Yeah,
someone and you say, I don't. I'll say to them, I don't do a handshake. And they say, why not? And then like there should be a new thing now because handshakes don't have. You can just say hi, hello, nice to meet you, nice to meet
yeah,
you.
and still, like, it's still some people's like automatic thing to do, isn't it? Is to just
Mhm,
put out the hand and everything else. But it's not something I'd actually do.
mhm.
It depends on the type of person you are, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Like I wouldn't either. It's one of those things that like, I used to do it. Like I when I was like a football um before pandemic, I would do football coaching and stuff, and of
Mm,
course, from football, you see them doing handshakes. You see,
yeah,
like the germs. You see, I don't know, like if you watch the football like on the telly, but if they win a trophy, they'll kiss it, and they'll like they actually
crazy,
kiss.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they kiss the trophy that everyone else has touched and kissed. And it's crazy, like that is how a lot of germs can spread,
course,
um
of
but
course.
it's crazy that like I don't think people should judge you if you don't want to have it. So if you don't like to do certain thing, you shouldn't be
Mm,
made feel bad for it.
no, not at all. Not at all. And like, and if they do mind, then they're not kind of your person, or they're not the type of people you want to probably be around anyway. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
yeah, yeah, I
Like I've had to readjust, like make so many readjustments to like friends or that kind of thing. When you get sick, you realize and you learn a lot about people. I certainly have. I think a lot of people I've spoken to has as well.
yeah,
It's like when times get tough, who's going to stick around? So yeah, as much as like I always say, like having IBD or colitis like has been really bittersweet. Obviously none of us want it, but what I personally have learned about myself has been incredible.
yeah.
It's amazing. It really is amazing. And I'm actually quite thankful for some of the things because I look after myself so much better now than before. Before, like my life was just such a rush. Now I'm still always really busy and whatever priority now. And that's just opened my eyes so much. Like I started the gym in January. Like that's just completely flipped the switch for me. Like everything has kind of seemed to improve, everything.
Yeah.
And I'm always like harping on about it on my uh IBD page and stuff like that because I'd love to see other people because so many people message saying, oh, I'd love to get back into the gym and whatever. Um, and I'm like, when you feel good enough or feel that you can, please do it because like there's so many benefits from it. Um, so many benefits from it. And obviously, like my coach has Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
So having someone like that then obviously makes everything that bit easier for
Yeah.
you because they get it, they
That
understand.
that must be a coincidence though. Like you find someone that's grows.
Well, there's quite a few of them online actually, but I just think it's who you kind of click with or can
Yeah.
relate more, you know. Um, but yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But like
Yeah.
he is an IBD coach. So like I think all of his clients at the moment have either Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. So it's quite a really like it's already amazing having an online community of everybody that can relate to each other, but then having another one in regards to like the gym community is actually brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely. Like
Yeah.
I go for a walk every day. Like I went and walked today. I try to get to 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's really nice and refreshing when we do different.
100%. So
di-
good for the head as well. Like, we deal with so much medically, appointments, work, just everyday life. So it's really like I love just sticking on my headphones and just like I'm gone for the road. Like as much as I'm small, like I can like I'm just zooming the roads, but like or the gym or whatever. So
Mm,
it's so good in all aspects to be fair.
yeah, it is like yeah, I put earplugs on, go around, I try and do a route that like a bit like an hour or something, maybe a
Yeah,
bit longer.
yeah.
And then I'll say to everyone in my family who I live with, I say, how many steps you done today? And then we'll see who's done the most steps. So on the
When you have
phone.
yours done, yeah.
Yeah, like the other day I did I think 13,000 steps because I did a lot of walking. And then yeah, it was funny because like everyone was saying, oh, I need to do more steps now. I need to catch up and everything. So
It's
yeah,
healthy competition though, isn't it? And you feel good and you sleep better as well.
yeah,
So
like
happy days. Yeah, it's a win-win.
years ago, I used to have the Fitbit. I used to have the Fitbit, but now
Yeah.
I just use the Apple Watch. But it was really funny because there was like a family tournament, like you could do
Yeah.
these like a
Yeah.
tournament these
Yeah.
things, and then you do your steps, and then you go above people, we go above people like, over the weekends and days. Um,
Yeah.
make you tired that will, but the thing is with the Fitbit, you just had to move your arm up and down, and that counts as steps. So I reckon a lot of people were cheating.
Really?
I reckon so. Like I got some members. I said, "How you done that many?" Like technically, you're not a fast walker, so how are you doing that so many more steps than me?
Yeah. Oh
It's,
my God.
yeah,
I
I,
won't try it because that'll be cheating and I'll be cheating myself. But like, I suppose it makes sense if you,
yeah,
yeah, test
yeah,
it.
yeah. Just it's like if they got a dinghy or something where you can put a thing up and down, just sit on
Just
sit.
dangle the watch with a weight on it, like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
actually did I don't know if you saw my page, but for Crohn's and Colitis Ireland in May, it was a 10,000 steps a day challenge for the month for World IBD Day. I think I came in at like 350,000. So, but it was so good. I'm like, I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep it up. I did take a few days off, but I'm back on it now and it's so good.
yeah.
But yeah, just little things like that kind of motivates me, you know.
Yeah, it is, and like I've been on the Crohn's and colitis walk once. I think a year or two after I was diagnosed, like in London, it was. And I did enjoy it because like it's cool because like everyone was purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think I had my face painted purple as well.
Yeah. Excellent. I
Um,
would be so up for all that. I love
yeah,
anything like that.
yeah. I haven't done it for years, but it's great. Like last year I did a not for Crohn's and colitis, but for something called rare diseases. I raised money. I did a skydive, so I did that.
Did you?
Yeah, I,
I would love to do that. How was
yeah,
that?
it was great. Like I was very tired afterwards. Um,
Oh my God, that's
yeah,
amazing.
like it's not like a roller coaster. It's a lot different. Um, like I was first out the plane. I was so I'd zoomed down. Like it's crazy. Like you got to put everything in a certain position. So it's like you're sitting up, and
Yeah,
you're looking up like that, and then all of a sudden you have to you're there for a little bit. It seems longer than it is actually when you're going straight down, and then you're virtually stopped when the parachute shoots out. It's like you're stopped in the air. Uh,
really. And then you can kind of start enjoying it a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah. Like for me, um, I was, I you could do flips and stuff in the air if you wanted, but for me, I didn't. I just did a slow glide down. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's so cool.
I wanted to see everything. I didn't want to go down too fast. I wanted
Yeah,
to be,
take it all in because you're not going to do it every day, really. It's
yeah,
not one of them things.
like,
That's
yeah,
amazing. That is so cool. And like you, I would rather go first as well. Just throw me out.
yeah, yeah. I was first, but the thing, I was first, but second from last on the ground.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
and then like my mum was down there saying, Where is he?
Yeah. Oh my
Where is
God, the
he?"
panic. Yeah, the
Yeah,
panic. Where is he? Why
yeah,
is he
no,
taking so
because
long?
I said I'll be first down. I'm first up,
Yeah.
so I'll be first down. That's me thinking that, and then no,
You were just taking in the views.
yeah. Um, it was a great experience, and then
That's amazing. I've actually signed up with Crohn's and Colitis Ireland for it's an abseil of 100. Do you ever hear of Croke Park in Dublin?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it's to abseil off Croke Park, so it's 150 feet. So I've signed up to do that in August. So like that,
yeah,
I'm petrified, but I'm excited. I love
yeah.
things like that.
They are. Yeah, you have to let me know how it goes, and
Mm.
it's
Oh,
it's
100%. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure I'll share it all. Like, probably cry, but I'll be fine.
Yeah.
It
Like,
only
like for me, these kind of things, your heart will beat very fast.
mm,
Depending on how scared you are, I guess. Like if you're really nervous about it beforehand, like me, I didn't tell anyone I was. I just said, oh, I'm fine.
yeah.
I'm fine. Because this was actually on the day before my birthday.
Oh,
Um, as well, it was like a birthday thing I wanted to do.
amazing. That's
Um,
incredible.
because a couple of years before I did an indoor one, and then I wanted to do the real thing.
Yeah.
And they are very, very different. Like the indoor one, it can be very claustrophobic, because you're in this dome, as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
so what will happen when you do a skydive is you'll be very hungry, afterwards. You'll want to eat something. Um, it's weird feeling, but you'll be very hungry. And then for me, I was very tired. I thought I needed sleep. I
I'd
said,
say the adrenaline and the build up to it just like zapped your
yeah,
energy.
yeah,
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 you like because it's overwhelming and your body is not used to obviously doing stuff like that. But like I find when I do the abseil now, I laugh when I'm nervous. So I laugh my way through it, but like I'm petrified, that kind of way. But look,
yeah.
it's all for a good cause, so I'm up
No.
for it.
Yeah, if you start a Just Giving page out, you have to do it.
You have to do it. It's
You have
like
to,
it's out there now, so I have to do it. But like even people said that to me, like, would you not just do like a practice run? And I'm like, no, just throw me in the deep end. I'll deal with it afterwards.
yeah, these kind of things cost a little bit of money as well. So it's all good to do the Just Giving page because what I've done with it, like some money will go to the rare diseases and some money will actually pay for the skydive.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
from everyone's donations. So it's a very good experience. They
That's
like
amazing.
like someone like a person who goes up there all the time. I spoke to him beforehand. I said, "What's the best part of doing a skydive?" And he said, "Surviving." And then
Oh,
and I was like,
that's the
"Oh,
beautiful part. Yeah.
yeah, that is the best part to survive." But um, like you don't realize how high you up are. Like, it's crazy how high you are up. Um,
I'd say crazy.
yeah,
Yeah. Until
like,
you're there and in that situation, I'd say it's very hard to imagine. But yeah, I that's on my bucket list. I'm gonna do one of those.
yeah.
Love it.
I want
Yeah.
like what on my bucket list now is to do in Wales. There's one of the fastest zip lines. I
Oh,
wanna. I'd like to do that. You're laying, I think, down as well. So you're laying down like that on it. And then the other one is I would like to do a bungee jump. Um,
yes. Yeah. I'd like to do that too, actually.
yeah. Although it'll be much shorter, um, I would like to do it, but I wouldn't like that to do that in England. I would like to do that somewhere else, like maybe a different country or something.
Yeah, you'd always see them further afield, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like yeah, I would like to do that, but yeah, I did get coupons, like discount coupons for the skydive I done. So,
Oh, then
um,
bad.
yeah, so who knows? I might do that again one day, but not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, no. Like to be fair, it's probably a once in a lifetime
Mm,
thing, but like if you do it more, I'd say it becomes an addiction.
yeah, it's
But like,
crazy. It's crazy because you ask the people that actually do it, and they're doing it all the time.
all
Um,
the time.
like
Yeah.
they're going back up after they've done me. They're saying I'm going back up there to do another one. Um, and
Mad.
I had to wait. My appointment, or what I probably got there like 10:30 in the morning, but it wasn't until a couple of hours after that because there had to be a really clear sky, so there can't be
Mm.
lots of clouds up
Oh,
there.
yeah, 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 of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Um, I like it was very fun and it's quite funny actually because the camera person, if you have it recorded, will be up there. It's almost like they're well when you're still in the air, like you're gliding. It's almost like you're stopped and they're taking pictures of you and everything. And then
Ah,
and then after my parachute is up, I say to the person, my tandem, I say, "Where is the camera person?" And they said they're on the floor. So I think they have the harder job, the camera people, because they're up there. They have to be ahead of you in time, and then
Ah,
they're down on the floor, ready for when you're going down.
okay. I say those pictures are incredible though, are they?
Yeah, yeah. There was loads. There was loads of pictures I had done. But you had to put your legs up high, really high, up above your waist, so you don't break them. Um,
Oh, and it's trying to remember all those things you're supposed to do. Like,
yeah. So what they tell you to do on the skydive, is so basically when you're in there, that in the plane, there's no seatbelt. You get attached to your tandem guy, so the person who's doing the skydive with you.
mm,
And then basically you'll be in front, so you'll be on the edge of the plane. It's scary, like, if you think about it.
that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you do what I did? You should be okay. Don't look down. So you
So
don't
the
look.
famous
Don't.
last words, don't look down.
So that's what part of my family did wrong. Um, because I did like a family thing, so
Ah,
they watched me. So what I did was, so basically, let's say you're on the edge of the plane, you're doing this.
yeah.
He's behind you, but your legs have to be between his legs.
Okay.
And then you mustn't pull the cord so that pulled you apart. So what I did, which if I did it again, I'll do a bit differently. So I held on to my straps that I had, but
Yeah.
when you're gliding, you can put your hands like that, but I didn't do that. I held mine all that time because I was a bit
You're just
petrified.
like clinging on
Yeah,
to whatever
yeah,
you can cling
yeah,
on to. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't do that. Well, I did do that, but you don't. You could, but you can put your legs out and things like that. But yeah, don't look down. But when you are going, you'll just look down anyway.
Of
Um,
course you will. Yeah.
once you've gone. But it's more scary if you look down before you've even started, because
Yeah.
you'll see the wing of the plane, which your camera
You're
person
just
to be
seeing
on.
everything that's gonna freak you out. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that is the most scariest bit, I would say. Um, but and then you don't realize how fast you're going. You're going so fast. Like you go so fast down. And it's almost like you're not going down. It's almost like you're going diagonally. It's almost like
Yeah.
it's almost like you're going forward, then going down.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mad.
and then yeah, that it does do it for a lot. Most of the time you are going down there, and then you glide. Like
Amazing.
if you're confident, I think the tandem thinks you're confident, they actually can ask you to pull it with them or pull the
Okay.
parachute. But I didn't do that. I was more. I even said when my parachute was on, I said, "Is my heart supposed to be beating this fast?"
Probably not.
No, probably not. But yeah, it is a good fun experience to do.
That does sound incredible. I will do it one day. I know I
Yeah,
will.
yeah. Like it's one of those things that we have to do.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Um. But yeah, it's good to hear that you're doing okay with your ulcerative colitis.
Yeah,
Um,
so far so good now. No complaints, and yeah, I'm just taking every day as it comes and hoping for the best, like everybody else, you know. And
yeah,
again, like I'm always, you know, my DMs are always open. I'm always trying to help and encourage where I can, and so many people have done that for me too, you know.
mm,
And it just makes life a little bit easier when you're suffering,
yeah,
because these people get it. You know, we've all been there. We've all had a flare. We've all felt okay. You know, so it's nice to get just that little bit of encouragement from other people. So
that's it.
hence, I guess why we all have our pages, you know.
Mm,
Um, so
yeah,
yeah, it's amazing.
yeah. It's definitely
Mm.
it's really amazing. Like
Yeah.
showing support to different people. Um, but yeah, that's why we create them in the first place, don't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I followed so many before I even thought of making a page myself, but it's a good way to log as well, your own ups and downs and things like that, and to share new information, or, like when I started Rinvoq, it's quite a new drug. So when I shared about it, like it's so many people messaging, or, it's always good to know. And I'm always doing the same to others, like what's that? Or I've not heard of that before, and it's good. Like we are like the professionals, I think, living with it,
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people want to be like a nurse or a doctor within like Crohn's and
Yeah,
IBD.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, definitely. So Laura, before we go, is there anything like I know we said plenty of advice, but is there any other advice that you want to say? Um,
Like for in terms of advice, like I'd always be saying, advocate for yourself, speak out, ask all the questions. If you don't feel comfortable going into a doctor and asking all these questions, like bring somebody with you, as a support mechanism, or like maybe reach out to someone online, or like keep in contact with the ABD team as well. Keep yourself known. Why not? As I said, you've one body, and unfortunately we're dealing with something that's a really horrible disease. So if you can protect yourself as much as possible, reach out, and yeah, just look after yourself, I guess. And there's a huge community there of support and connections. So yeah, I would just encourage to just engage with all of those, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's mainly it, really.
yeah. Thanks, Laura. That's really good advice. If people want to really reach out to you, where can they find you?
So my IBD page is Laura. Oh my God, I should know this off by heart, but I'm going to just double check, because the way sometimes you have to do these like underscores and all the rest of
Yeah,
it. But yeah, so my page is Laura underscore IBD underscore and underscore me. So it's like Laura IBD and me, I guess, to make it
yeah,
simple. But yeah, my DMs are always open. I've been through so many medications, so many different scenarios, that I'm sure I can help some way,
yeah.
or at least support
That's right.
or encourage. I'm always encouraging and pushing people, So yeah,
That's a good way to
that's
be.
me. And thanks so much for having me on. Honestly, it's I always love speaking about sharing my journey, speaking about everything I've been through, because it will help someone, so
Yeah,
many have helped me just by reading about it, so it's important. I'm always for spreading the awareness.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great. It's like a hobby, isn't it? It's like
it
spreading
is.
awareness.
Yeah, it is like 100%. I completely agree. Yeah,
Yeah. Do
yeah.
do you have any other hobbies as well? Like to do?
To be honest, like my hobby is now the gym.
Awesome.
Like
Yeah, good.
I'm one of these people that I would have never been before, like I would have ran a mile from a gym before. I would never I would never have been or thought I'd even go to a gym. But that would be my biggest hobby, to be honest, now at the moment,
Mm.
like I have two kids, so things get pretty busy for me anyway. Um, but yeah, that would be it. I love going out, love traveling. I've traveled a lot. I'm traveling again on Monday. So
All right.
we have an IBD meetup in Manchester, actually. If you're around, you should pop up on the first big group meeting in Manchester. Very informal, but like it's good to connect and meet up,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is good to meet actually people in person, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
It's saying
because
hi.
everybody understands. And like there's so many of us have said, oh my God, I've not met another person that has had IBD in person, and we were laughing, going, oh my God, like how are we going to get a restaurant where we can all eat and nobody's tummies will be upset?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's definitely something that it'd be good to do, like meet up more, like with people, like who have
And
the
yeah,
same
like
condition as
these
us.
people become your friends, you know, like you connect, you interact with them sometimes maybe even more than your own friends. So it's
Mm,
really, really nice. Yeah, really nice.
yeah. We'll have to. Well, we'll definitely meet someday. Like
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Um,
cool.
it'll be awesome.
Mm.
But thank you, Laura. I hope you've enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
really, really good to chat. My dog has just come in to
yeah.
probably tell me my dinner is ready.
There we go.
No, that's amazing. And I'm so grateful that you reached out. I love sharing awareness. So it was my pleasure.
Definitely. Well, thanks, Laura. Thanks to anyone watching and listening today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as us. But I'll see you in the next episode. But it's been really fun talking to Laura today. Yeah, and hopefully, with fingers crossed, we'll be all right. Let's say for the rest of the year, hopefully, with our IBD.
Yeah, that's all we can do is hope.